Kenji, you were right. If I was really in love with Brooklyn, I should have been there.
What?
It's about damn time. It's about damn time.
Feel the legs pushing up on the I'm feeling it. Feel the high that you get from the line. If you feel it, raise your hell in the sky.
Alright, guys, so let's talk about this whole thing. The Darius, the Brooklyn, Darius of Brooklyn. Let's talk about Darius of Brooklyn and Kenji. I don't know what the title of this video. I'll probably come up with the name of it later, but let's talk about it. So, this is a spoiler alert. This video will come out sometime Monday or Tuesday, whatever I feel like it. I just want to let you guys know this is a video that I just want to talk about. I didn't want to get too much involved in the review because, again, like I said, I did another video and I really went in ham on this because this acts, I hate to say it, but this was a main reason why I did not like 4 and 5. You probably say you're one of those people, Jason. I'm one of those people that see good writing with 2 characters and you kind of squander it to push something else, which I will admit to that. I feel like the way they handle the way they handle Darius and Brooklyn relationship was half-assed. I thought they could have put those 2 together because they had a lot of writing together, a lot of character development together, and it was done from season 1 to season 2, and even in 3, you see that these 2 were about to get together, and all of a sudden you thrust in Kenji, and Kenji, it feels like what they're doing. And this is what I could be wrong, but it just going back to it felt like they just put Kenji there just to put Kenji. Also, remember too, Colin Trevorrow came out and said season 4 is my best season, and that's the worst one out of all the seasons they did. So that let that sink in for a little bit. I think what they're going to do is correct the course. I think they heard the fans' feedback. I think they heard the fans' backlash. And they heard, other than how bad season 4 and 5 was, I think they heard about how Darius and Brooklyn relationship was handled. I think they felt like, okay, we need to establish that a little bit better. And, you know, some people are like, I actually like it the way it is. And more power to you. You can like it the way it is. But you can tell that Kenji and Brooklyn needed more development. They never did. But I think they also heard the Darius fans, and I probably say, you know what? We did develop them. Yeah, we did push them. Yeah, I can see how they could come from that angle. Maybe let's try to do that angle, see how they interpret that, and see how it's better. And then again, they could be teasing us again, too, which I think is a terrible idea. I don't think they should do that. I think this is going to backfire in their face. If you're going to put Brooklyn and Kenji together, leave them together. I read one comment, and one comment said, well, Darius said that she never accepted his feelings. Yes, she never said anything, though. So I rewatched episode 10, and we'll hear what Darius said. He said, yeah, he loved Brooklyn. He said he fell in love with Brooklyn. But she never said nothing to him. She never said no. Now, I probably said, oh, because she didn't want to hurt his feelings. No, because she was probably confused. She had a lot on her mind. She had to deal with this whole dinosaur trade shit going on here. Then she had to deal with a lot of probably the way Kenji and them broke up and stuff like that. So she was dealing with a lot. So I think what really went down, or really what happened was, I think she just didn't have an answer. Now, again, she called Darius more than she called Kenji that night. I think she was going to give him an answer, but Darius felt some type of way about it, the way she left, and, you know, it is what it is. And also, remember, too, go back and watch Chaos Theory. Don't watch Chaos Theory if you've seen Chaos Theory. We had everybody have a flashback with Brooklyn except for Darius. They did that on purpose because I think what happened was Darius and Brooklyn got close. Darius and Brooklyn probably kissed. Just don't know how, just don't know when. Well, we know when, but we just don't know how it happened. Is the fact that something went down between those two in those flashbacks. We just don't know when. They're probably going to save it for next season. And honestly, I cannot wait for them to do that anyway, because it will show a lot and to give more context and give a lot of these people who are Kenji fans, I don't know where the fuck they came from, something to realize, like, okay, maybe Darius and Brooklyn are supposed to go together. Now, am I pushing for this? I'm telling y'all have to like it. If you don't, you're fool. No, I do look back on season 1, 2, and 3 at the character development that these characters had, and they had the best ones. I mean, you could kind of tell where certain characters were going to end up with people. It was Yaz and Salmon. We knew those two was going to end up together. Ben was the wild card. He was always the one in that middle of that group. Those two that could do something. And we also heard they were going to do some type of a new relationship, like a 3-way something between Ben, Yaz, and Sammy, which that'd be good for Ben. Shit, that's good on Ben. And the way Ben is now, that works for him. But we kind of knew where they were going with it. But the biggest one we knew was Darius and Brooklyn. We all saw it. It all was developed. It was all written. And we saw that being developed from 1 to 2 to 3. I'm talking about the seasons. And it just kept on getting developed. Now 4 or 5 is just like whatever happened in 1 and 2, fuck it, we're just doing our own thing. And that's how 4 felt. And 5, it's like they kind of did what 4 was doing, so they didn't want to go back to what 1 and 2 and 3 was doing. And we've seen that done before. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and that could be terribly bad. So I can see why they didn't go back to 1, 2, and 3. But this looked like they're doing a fresh start, and they're trying to correct the mistakes they did in 4 and 5. And hopefully they do put Brooklyn and Darius together. They belong together. It was written. It's just the way they're written, it's written in the stones. So, ladies and gentlemen, and if they don't, that's fine too. But I think the way Darius is getting a little bit more motivation to figure out what happened, yes, I think so. And then when he finds out she's alive, I think Darius is not going to let Kenji come in and do what I really think what happened was Kenji took the move first and Brooklyn said yes. But I bet you money if Darius would have said something to Brooklyn first, we would be talking about Darius and Brooklyn. That's kind of what happened. Even Darius, go back to Camp Cretaceous. He was like, oh, okay, I'm happy for you. In the back of his head, he probably was like, oh, you beat me. And I promise you, now, you also heard Darius say, oh, yeah, I just fell in love with Brooklyn when y'all broke up. And you saw how Darius said it so quickly. He said it so quickly. Now, be careful with that because I bet you money he's been in love with Brooklyn since they've been on that fucking island. I promise you, they've been in love together since he was in love with her sister on that island. Now, Brooklyn might have been in love with him as well, too. But we don't know that. She hasn't really expressed the feelings until we'll get that little hint of that next season. But Darius has been in love with Brooklyn since they were on that island. And I could go back to maybe season 2 or 3. He's been in love with her since one of those 2 seasons. It's just I just had to pinpoint it. It's been a minute since I watched it. But he's been in love with her since the island. He always has. And it's just that he wasn't fast enough to get there first. Kenji was a faster one. If the roles were reversed, she would have said yes to Darius. I'm just saying. So, but as always, guys, like, subscribe. I just want to talk about this. You know how I feel about this. So, as always, peace. Have a Johnson day. And what do you guys think? You think I'm wrong? You think I'm full of shit? You think, Johnson, you don't know anything? Comment below. Let me know. As always, the outro will end it for you. I'll see you guys later.